Hello, my name is Dr. Lynn Romeko Jacobs. I am the chair of the Applied Physiology, Health Management, Sport Management, and Sport Performance Leadership and Wellness Department at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. And this Zoom recording is all about students, high school students or transfer students that want to join SMU and would like to major in applied physiology, health management, sport management, or sport performance leadership. So that's what I'm talking about today, and we're really glad that you're interested. And of course, if you want to have a private conversation with me at any time, you could call myself, not my cell phone, my office phone number is 214-768-1811. And my email address is lromeko, R-O-M as in Mary, E-J-K-O, @smu.edu. So I hope this recording will be interesting to you, and I am going to share a screen with you so we can get into some of the aspects of this program. Again, it's the Department of Applied Physiology and Wellness, and this is an orientation for prospective majors and high school students. And the mission of our program basically is to integrate science, management, business, leadership, and professional content so that the students can gain the necessary academic training, lifelong learning, and workplace knowledge and experience necessary for professional success. It's a hybrid program. It's rigorous academically and very professionally pragmatic. We're very proud of it. We started it in 2009, and now we've got over 600 graduates from the program, and I'll share later on in this presentation on how these alumni from the program are doing. So the next slide shares about the 3 different concentrations in this major. There's applied physiology and health management, there's sport management, and sport performance leadership. So the applied physiology and health management is more geared towards the biological basis of health and fitness, all about the body, and some management skills required in those worlds, performance, allied health, medical, and fitness industries. So they learn a lot about the body. They could go into physical therapy, physician's assistant, nursing, performance training, health management, quite a few different areas. I think I mentioned nursing. Sport management, the second concentration in blue, centers on the principles required of professionals in the business of sport. So it's all about how you make money in the business of sport. So you are a manager of a team, or you do sports marketing for a team, or you do corporate sponsorships for a team. So we'll get into some of the nitty-gritty of that so you can get a better idea of what that is all about. And then there's sport performance leadership. That's all about coaching, preparing you to be on the front lines with the athletes, really working on how do you coach the athlete, how do you coach a team. Lots about leadership, instruction, and a lot about the psychology of sport. And our next slide is are the courses that you would take, the basic courses that you would take in the applied physiology and health management. The courses in red, legal and ethical aspects of sports, applied management skills in sports and fitness, biomechanics with lab, exercise physiology with a lab, senior project, internship. The other 2 concentrations take them as well. They're a little bit different for the APHM courses because they have labs. They're more science-based. And then you see the other courses in black that all the APHM students would have to take. Again, APHM stands for Applied Physiology Health Management. So again, you'll see that they take human anatomy, 1 and 2 with the lab. They learn all about the muscles and the bones and all the systems like the cardiovascular system, endocrine system that are involved. They learn about how you deliver health to a community, how the business of health is a big industry in this country, and then they get to choose some courses that they would like. You see at the bottom. In the sport management SM courses, again, they take some of the same courses in red that the APHM students take, but then you'll see that they focus more about the business of sports in the courses that are highlighted in black. Issues in sport management, advanced PR, sports marketing, revenue in sports, sports facility and event management, sport management practicum, sport data analytics. So they're quite busy with a lot of the business of sport. And then our third and final concentration, SPL, Sport Performance Leadership. Again, they take similar courses that are in red that unify all three concentrations into the APSM major. But then you'll see in the black, they take a coaching and leadership. What makes a great coach? Exercise program design. How do you train these athletes, a quarterback versus a linebacker, a pitcher versus a catcher? How do you train them physically to be the best at those sports? And then they get to choose from quite a few courses. Rules and regulations, all very involved. Communication. How do you communicate with your team? How do you motivate a player if they are so different in the way that they approach their sport? How do you coach team sports? Nutrition. How do you fuel best for a marathon versus fueling best for a lacrosse game? Diversity and inclusion in sports. How diversity is handled in the world of sports. Advanced coaching and leadership. More in how you really lead and coach a team. Psychology, what's inside the psyche of any athlete and how you work with that psyche. Coaching seminars, so special topics that are up and coming and trending in the world of sport. And technology in sport. How do you, when you film a game or film a practice, how do you use the software to analyze what different players on the team are really doing? So the software is pretty sophisticated and they can tell, like, oh, in a soccer game, Sally only touched the ball 2 times versus Joan that touched it and kicked it 7 times. So they can analyze through technology and film what's happening on the field. So what would you learn in these 3 different programs? This is a typical question you would learn how to answer in Coaching and Leadership for Performance, that Sport Performance Leadership program. The main key to developing a coaching philosophy is A, knowing the sport, B, knowing yourself, C, knowing the athletes, D, knowing the fans. What do you think? If we were in person and you said the right answer right away, I would throw you a healthy, nutritious bar, food bar. So the question and the answer is knowing yourself. If you're going to be a really great coach, you are going to understand who you are first as a person, and then how you best can develop your personality traits to match the best way to coach your athletes. So that's a famous coach in history, Bear Bryant. So if you Google him, you'll learn a lot about how he knew himself well to be a great coach, football coach. Another question in exercise physiology, which is taught in all 3 concentrations, APHM, SM, and SPL. In APHM, they take a very strenuous, rigorous lab where they test and use a lot of high-end equipment. In the sport management and SPL, they use more the applied exercise physiology, so they understand the athlete and what is going on with the athlete's body. So a question they would know how to answer when they took this course, exercise physiology: how much blood does your heart pump every minute? So that's a picture of the human heart. Think about how much blood does your heart pump every minute. 5 liters. That is equivalent to 2.5 liter Coke bottles. That is a lot of blood circulated every minute. That makes you realize that, you know, you are doing a lot of work just by sitting, standing, sleeping. You're pumping a lot of blood. So you'd understand that you pump that much blood, you understand how your body does that with the heart and the whole vascular system. It's quite fascinating. Well, another question you would learn to be able to answer in the sport performance leadership course, exercise program design: what are the key ingredients and components of fitness? Well, there are quite a few, and you'd learn them and understand them and then be able to share them with other people to train them. So the most current ACSM guidelines, American College of Sports Medicine, they do a lot of research, is cardiorespiratory exercise. You need about 150 minutes of that per week. That's where you're getting your heart rate up to an intensity, and about 30 to 60 minutes if you're doing it at a slower pace, 5 days per week, or if you can go more vigorously, 20 to 60 minutes, 3 days per week. So that's your aerobic conditioning. And then you also would need resistance exercise to build your muscles and make sure that they get stronger and more developed. So you should be training them 2 to 3 days each week with a variety of exercises. There are many different ways of building your resistance training, but these are some examples more specifically on how to do it with repetitions. And then you need flexibility in your exercise program design. So adults should do flexibility exercises at least 2 or 3 days per week to improve your range of motion, so that you can, elongate the muscles crossing your joints and be able to have a full range of motion when you're pitching, when you're serving, when you're swimming, when you're performing ice skating, when you're a gymnast. You need a lot of flexibility. Okay, very, very important. And then neuromotor exercise. This is relatively new. It's called functional fitness training. You also need this 2 or 3 days per week. It can be combined with some of the other activities that you're doing. But you want to involve motor skills that increase your balance, your agility, moving quickly without falling down from one spot to the next, coordination and gait. All these are exercises that are really going to help you to function better and to be a better athlete as well. So you need about 20, 30 minutes per day for neuromotor exercise. But again, they can be built into your aerobic activity and some of your resistance training as well. So in one class, you would learn all that in the exercise program design class. You learn it at a very detailed level so that you can design training programs for all different types of athletes, all different ages, male and female. What would you learn in a biomechanics course? That would be a course that is taught in all 3 concentrations, but the APHM students, Applied Physiology and Health Management, would learn it with some lab activities and at a deeper level involving the physics involved in movement in space. So you'd learn why a pitcher for the MLB, Major League Baseball, would be a really fast pitcher. Why, if he gets his elbow up this way, further back, higher, is going to make him a faster pitcher. So what do you think is the world's fastest pitch? Here are some of the people that have done fast pitches, but what do you think it is? It is, according to MLB scouts, it's been clocked as high as 105 miles per hour. And that was back in 2010. That's a while ago. And you would learn in a biomechanics course what it takes to pitch a ball that fast, 105 miles per hour, what's involved in the mechanics, moving through space of your body, your shoulder, your elbow, what the distance of the shoulder and the elbow from your torso. So that's all about the science of movement in space, the angles, the vectors, the power, the distance, all involved in biomechanics. What would you learn in a sports facility and event management? That's one of the courses that the sport management majors take. They learn all about facilities and events and how to put them on and how much it costs to build a stadium, what's involved with municipal bonds, with companies that want to sponsor the stadium like AT&T Stadium in Dallas. So which is the only stadium in the United States to have hosted the World Series, Super Bowl, and the Summer Olympic Games? The LA Coliseum. So that is really had a lot of work, a lot of work. And so now I know that LA is getting a new Coliseum. I'm not sure exactly in what location, but in the facility and event management course that you take, the professor that teaches it, he actually helps run some of these big facilities like the American Airlines Center here in Dallas. So he teaches the students all about what it takes to run them, how they're built, what's the revenue involved in it, organization, all the nitty gritty. Question for sport performance leadership, that remember is the concentration dealing with coaching. Do athletic scholarships increase or decrease an athlete's intrinsic motivation? So what do I mean by intrinsic? That means, are you motivated from inside yourself to do something? You don't need a reward. You just want to do it because you want to be good. You want to be better for yourself. So it's basically seeing how athletic scholarships help the athlete to increase their motivation or decrease their motivation. So research shows it really depends. If the scholarship is viewed by the athlete as information about their competence in the sport, it increases intrinsic motivation. They feel better about themselves. They have more trust in themselves. And the coach is saying, hey, I'm giving you a scholarship because you are really good, really, really good. Now, if the coach tries to control the athlete with the scholarship, saying, if you don't perform well, you're not going to continue to get this scholarship, that decreases intrinsic motivation. They are not feeling as good about themselves, and they probably won't work as hard. So that's all about studying the sports psychology. What to learn in the human anatomy course, applied physiology and health management. That's our first concentration. What is the longest bone in the body? I bet some of you out there know that one. It is the femur. That's the thigh bone. So when you're in an anatomy and physiology course, you will be in the lab once a week for 3 hours and learn all about the bones and the muscles and the joints and the articulations and how they move. So you really become quite competent in understanding the body. And they get to dissect, they get to look in the microscope, they get to do a lot. It's very, very involved. In the biomechanics course, they actually get to work with a human cadaver. One time during the semester, they go over to UNT Health Sciences. So they love that. So they really get to get close up front to a body. So what would you learn in health promotion? Health promotion is all about how you deliver health to the community, you deliver health through hospitals, through companies, through like American Heart Association, American Lung Association, diabetes. So what is the health current status in this country? As we know right now, we're going through a huge issue. So which disease in the US, United States, is the top leading cause of death? And that's age adjusted. And I bet a lot of you will know this answer. Yes, it is heart disease. About 640,000 Americans die from heart disease each year. That's 1 in 4 deaths, every 4 deaths. So in that course, health promotion practice, they learn all about the different diseases in this country and how they're being treated and then how they're being prevented. So that is health promotion practice on many different levels. What to learn in a sports marketing class? That would be for the sport management major. Which one of these businesses below is not a sports marketing agency? Propellant Media, CAA, Creative Artists Agency, NCA, National Collegiate Athletic Association, Excel Sports Management, Boris Corporation, Lagardère, and Octagon. So which one is not a sports marketing agency? It would be the NCAA. So that's the National Collegiate Athletic Association. They're in charge of all sports in college play. They're the governing body. So all these other sports marketing agencies, our students learn all about them, what they do, the nitty gritty, and a lot of our students, that's what they're interested in getting into. So they learn all about these organizations. They have professionals that come to class that represent these industries, and share very much in detail what their jobs are like. Okay, another sports marketing question. Which company ranked highest by total sponsorship spending in the United States in 2016 in million US dollars? Toyota, AT&T, Nike, or Pepsi Company & Company? Which company ranked highest by total sponsorship spending? That means they spent a lot of money to promote sports, whether it was for a sports team, whether it was for a sport organization. They spent a lot of advertising money for sports. And plus the team gets a lot of money from these companies to put that advertising during the game, after the game, in products, lots of different avenues for that. So it is Pepsi, and you all probably have enjoyed some Pepsi products. In 2016, they spent $365 million on advertising for sports through their products. So whether they're selling them at the stands in the stadium, or their logos are advertised on the screens in the Jumbotron, or on big billboards or big signs around the arena, Pepsi is spending that money to advertise their products related to sports. Another revenue and sport question, because so the sport management students take one course strictly on revenue in sport. Lots involved in that. Which NFL team is the richest? National Football League. It's our professional football league here in the United States. The New England Patriots, the Oakland Raiders, the New Orleans Saints, the Dallas Cowboys. So which one's the richest? That means has the most money. Well, Forbes, a reputable business magazine, research think tank for business, the Dallas Cowboys, right here in Dallas, are the NFL's richest team with $864 million in revenue and an operating income of $365 million in 2018. What I find interesting is that they're not a team that has been winning very well in the past decade, but they make the most money. So they will analyze in that course, revenue in sports, why the Dallas Cowboys make that amount of money with their corporate sponsorships, with their advertising, with their products. How are they doing it? Why are they so popular? So Jerry Jones has a lot to do with it, the owner, and so they would study it. All right, I think I've said enough about the courses. Why do we think this major in overall, all three concentrations are a great advantage? Location. Dallas is the 5th largest market for sports. It's great for fitness and medical practices and industries in medicine and health. Great, again, for people that want to be coaches, lots of different teams. Facilities. We have great facilities on campus, great labs to learn hands-on data collecting of like running on a treadmill, collecting your oxygen consumption, measuring your blood pressure. Expertise. We have faculty that have been out in these industries and have PhDs, have done a lot of research, and these faculty can connect you to the different avenues you want to go into and connect you with people outside of SMU that can help you with your careers. Great connections, great networking. So here are some of the faculty in the applied physiology and health management area. So I'll just share with you Dr. Sushmita Prakistaya. She does research in brain concussions on athletes, and her lab focuses on that. And she has undergraduates, like not freshmen, but sophomores, juniors, and seniors that work in her lab to study concussions and what's happening with the brain in concussions and what they need to change about how to take care of an athlete after they've been concussed. Dr. Scott Davis, he studies multiple sclerosis in patients, and he has a very sophisticated lab called the IPL, Integrated Physiology Lab. And he also has students that work in his lab and get to measure human beings, patients that have MS. So it's really, really great. And then Dr. P's lab is called CRL, Cerebrovascular Research Lab. And then the third, Dr. Wayham, he has a lab that is all related to human performance. So he studies the fastest people in the world, like Usain Bolt. Why are they so fast? And so he has a really fast treadmill that has a force plate underneath it, so he can measure the force that these athletes are putting on the ground to go really fast. And he also films them. He's studied many, many famous athletes in his lab to understand why they're going so fast. He's also studied force in the NBA, how they fall down during games. And so he has really some interesting research. If you Google any of them, Perkius Daya, Scott Davis, or Peter Wan, you'll find their research. It's quite amazing. Here are some more of our faculty for APHM. Kelsey Hampton, she is a registered dietitian. She teaches our nutrition class, and she also is involved in a company called NutriWorks, and they do meal planning for athletes, and it's quite successful. Eric Bean, he teaches our global health course, so he does research around the world on helping people to deliver health in areas that are more developing countries that need help in regards to surgeries and disease. And Mark Scoble, he works at a corporation to deliver employee health wellness. So he teaches our health promotion practice course. In the sport management, I'll just highlight a few people, couple people. Our director is Peter Carton, and he worked in, he has a law degree and a sport management degree, and he worked in Major League Baseball. And then Mrs. Sarah Brown, she also has a law degree and soon a PhD in sport management, and she's also worked in different professional sporting franchises. So we have some people that really have walked the talk, talked the walk, and they can bring their industry expertise into the classroom. In the sport performance leadership, they're all about coaching. We've got Laura Robinson. She has worked with athletes. She has worked with the military and training them. And David Bertrand, he also has worked in training athletes at the Olympic level in triathlon. So he understands coaching. So we really pride our program in having a lot of experiential learning opportunities with internships, practical experiences, the students doing research in the lab, independent studies, and a lot of guest lecturers that work in these industry segments for you to connect with. So we really get you going in these fields of professional development right away. So the internships for the applied physiology and health management and the sport management are run by me, Lynn Jacobs, and for the APHM, and then Dr. Peter Carton for the sport management. So we have lots of places that you all can intern. So in the applied physiology and health management sites, you'll see some performance training, you'll see that's physical therapy, you'll see hospitals, another PT place, you'll see wellness, corporate employee worksite, Texas Instruments, Bavary, that's now called Virgin Plus, that's health management, Parkland Hospital, CrossFit, the YMCAs, also doing research in our labs here at SMU. So we have a good problem. We have more places that for sites in the Dallas-Fort Worth area than we have students. Our majors is not a big major. We have 200 majors at any one time, so we've got plenty of sites for you. In the sport management world, these are just examples of internship sites, the professional teams here in Dallas, some of the minor league teams here in Dallas, and the corporate sponsors, those companies that sell advertising and promote their products through the sport arenas. So there are plenty of places to work there as well and get experience. Also collegiate sports and facility venues like working at American Airlines Center, Lone Star Park, that's horse racing. So we've got plenty, Frisco, that's Pizza Hut, that's for the soccer. Plenty of places for you to go. In the sport performance leadership, the coaching, our students, their senior or right before their senior year, they could coach at a youth, middle school or high school. They could coach at the college level, elite level, or private practice. So they've got lots of options for coaching experiences before they graduate. Again, we have independent studies, teaching practicums, research practicums, directed studies. So those are like mini internships, small ones that you can do before you do the big internship. And faculty invite you to work with them. So it's a really great way to get academic course credit, but working one-on-one with our faculty or somebody outside of our school that really has a great site that you could do some work with them as well. And again, sport management has the same opportunities. And this is what I thought you might find interesting is, where are our students going? Currently, in spring 2020, we have 621 alumni. Those are students that went through our program and graduated from SMU in our program. So APSM related jobs, 46% have APSM related jobs. 22% have either completed or completing graduate school programs related to APSM. APSM, that's the total umbrella of the major, Applied Physiology and Sport Management. So when you combine 46 and 22, 68% of our alumni are getting jobs or going to graduate school, which eventually will lead to a job that's related to APSM. 25% have professional track jobs. They're not related to APSM, but they're jobs that required a college degree. And we do believe that some of the skill sets they learned in our classes did help them to get those jobs. So when you add up those percentages, 93% of our graduates, alumni are doing very well. 7% are not responding. We just can't find them on LinkedIn, or they're not responding back to our surveys and questionnaires. So when I go back to that 68%, what does that mean to you? Based on government data and published in the Washington Post, 27% of college grads have jobs that were closely related to their major. I'm happy to say we are beating this percentage with 68% APSM jobs or grad school, more than double the national percentage. So we feel like we're doing quite well as we tout ourselves as being a professional development program. Here are some positions that our students have held in the applied physiology and health management worlds. You see hospitals, you see clinics, you see pharmaceuticals, you see PT. We have some people working at professional football teams and athletic training and physical therapy. So it's a nice mixture of different types of jobs that are related to that major. In the sport management, we have students that are working for the Dallas Stars as account managers, account executives for professional teams, Phoenix Suns, San Antonio Spurs, some that are in marketing jobs, some in corporate sponsorships, sales, some are going to law school so they could become player agents, representatives to contracts for professional athletes. So it's a nice mixture. And in the sport performance leadership, obviously they're going to be going into coaching. Some of them are athletic directors, performance trainers, digital marketing. So some of them are going on to graduate schools as well. So if you come to SMU and you want to be one of our APSM majors in one of those concentrations, all you have to do is first complete 30 hours of study. That's basically your freshman year, 15 one semester, 15 your spring semester. And then we will let you apply, and you can apply as you're completing the 30 hours. And you'll have had to take one of our intro courses as well. So for the APHM students, they take Human Anatomy and Physiology 1. For the sport management, they take the Contemporary Issues in Sport Management. And for the SPL, they would take Sport Performance Leadership. And we'd also want them to complete another one of our 3,000 level courses. So basically, you're finishing your freshman year, you've taken 2 of our courses, our intro and another course, and then we'll let you apply. The reason why we want this to happen is we want to get to know you better before you apply. It doesn't mean you have to have a perfect grade average of A. We want to see that you behave well in class, you're really interested, you're passionate, you've got fire in the belly to be one of our majors. Then we will accept you into the major, okay? So this is just more about the acceptance. And we love to meet anyone that's interested in our program. So again, I really want you to call me, 214-768-1811, or email me, LROMEJKO@smu.edu. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see you at SMU. All right. Be safe. Stay well.